pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You all received an email that Mrs. Dewswalt couldn't make it tonight. So we will move on. Jeff, I'm going to call you Michael, or is going to call you Jim? Jeff.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Gotcha.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The status report for the month of July. I do have to report one non-compliance issue. We did have a high phosphorus read on 1 week out of 5 weeks. So every week we sample for phosphorus. And we had one abnormally high result that came back from our lab. It was like a 4.19. We're supposed to keep this average, monthly average, below a 1. Having that one bad week just upset our whole month. The rest of the month samples were all well below 1. By the time we identified that the phosphorus levels were increasing, we tried to beat it with our water treatment chemical that we had, and we weren't able to beat it this time. One of the things that was most alarming to me, though, is every time we send one of these samples off to the lab, we also take a sample ourselves in our lab. And our results didn't line up with the lab's results. There is times where we have had the lab actually switch our influent and our effluent results, and I'm suspect that that could have been the case, but you never want to question your lab. Okay, so I detailed my comments in the non-compliance report. It was kind of unusual that the influent phosphorus was lower than the effluent phosphorus, and so I feel like they may have switched something. But we'll let Paula decide how she wants to handle that. I don't anticipate any fines or anything like that. This is the first time we've actually had this phosphorus issue since. And we have been chasing some enormously high influent phosphorus levels just the way the summer's been with the rains. It's coming in the door really hot. So we're having to add a lot of treatment chemical to it to keep it down. So we're keeping our close eyes on that. As far as the water plant is concerned, as you guys recall, we had the catastrophic failure of our gaseous chlorinators. So we are using a liquid sodium hydro drip system right now. I was able to contact Spencer Electric this morning. So we did have New Century come out to the station. They looked at all the components. They decided they don't want to touch it. It's so intricate in there. They preferred to have the electrician who built the disinfection unit come back because there was live wires in the room. We locked the room and closed everything down. Spencer just got back from his vacation. He is working diligently to get us on his very busy schedule. He understands this is priority. In the meantime, we have Kester ordering our new gaseous chlorinators from Superior, and we are aligning with Aqualogics to have them on site when Kester comes to install everything. We need to plug in all the signals, all the alarms, all the communications with our SCADA system.
Jeff, so the chlorinator went up, right? And that was gaseous. You said you used sodium hypochlorite for backup?
That's correct. Yep.
So you always have a backup? We
always have a backup now. That is a good positive. Out of all this, we do have a trustworthy backup system now. We know we can employ and work effectively. So, okay. It did take some fine-tuning, but we've got it dialed in pretty well now. We switched some chemical providers. We were buying it from Garlox for a while, and we found we bought it from a Slack chemical company. It was coming in 55-gallon drums, a lot more economy of scale, cheaper. But their product is a lot more potent than Slack. Hasn't been sitting on the shelf as long, is what I suspect. So we had to make some adjustments, but we got it dialed in. We were within compliance the whole time during this failure. And then we did have some pictures taken of the hole we identified at the 95-foot mark in our standpipe. There's pictures of that hole. I kind of zoomed in on it. You can kind of see that there's a little kind of bubbling of rust kind of appearing around that hole when you zoom in. It kind of tells us that it's actually rusting from the inside out. It is not a bullet hole. It is kind of oblong. It's definitely a rust failure issue. So we contacted Hunt Underwater Specialists. They're typically the folks that dive all the water towers in the area. So he's going to be making a schedule for repair. We're going to be using, I guess, a boiler plug repair, where they physically go on the inside of the tank. They'll have a plate, I believe it's got a threaded bolt on it. We'll stick it right through that hole, and then from the outside, we'll actually clamp it, and it'll make a good seal. He's utilized this, it's been approved by DOH, obviously everything needs to be FDA approved, all the adhesive and everything that go in our drinking water.
Does that make you worry that there may be other areas?
It does, and so while we're having him, usually we have it inspected on a regular thing, cycle. We're gonna have him do the entire inspection while he's here, while he's suited up, while he's in there, 2 or 3 years early, but we should get a good look and see what the rest of the condition is. We flew the drone kind of around the perimeter, the outside, really zoomed in on some areas of discoloration, areas of concern, but we didn't see the same form of degradation that we saw with that hole. I'm hoping it's just a one-off scene. And unless you guys have any other questions regarding the status report, that's all the news I've had.
How did we do with these 3 heavy rains we've had?
Fantastic. So we had 1.97 inches yesterday, 0.9 something accrued so far today. About 3 inches of water in the last 24 hours.
Everything did well.
And because it's coming in waves, we're able to keep up with it.
Good.
We pretty nasty down at the plant. We're getting a lot of solids down there.
I would think so, yeah.
We're handling it.
Any questions from the board? All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Any questions on the DPW report? We have been commented, a very positive comment a number of times about how nice the yellow curbs look and how professional and accurate they are. That's a very nice thing to see. Any comments on the police report? Michael?
Alright, good evening, everyone. Real light week, or month I should say, in the zoning and code enforcement. Most of my time has been kind of getting caught up from Dave leaving the post. We've had a building permit, zoning permit, collected about $500 in fees. A few ongoing clear sight triangle violations and some long violations that we're trying to get people in compliance with. But outside of that, it's been a relatively slow month. Most of our time has been spent reviewing some of our codes. I did send you guys an email looking at the 3 that I think should be addressed first, which would be a lighting ordinance, a noise ordinance, and kind of a fee fine schedule and procedures that kind of basically, I think, address making things a little more enforceable and consistent across the board. And I think it's going to help with the short-term rentals when we finish looking at what goes in there. So if you'd take a look at that, give me your feedback, stop in and talk to me, whatever, I'm right there. So, but that is the month of August. Any questions?
I have seen all of the draft codes. I haven't read them carefully. I will reread them. But they look like a very good place to start with the fine schedule. And there's consistency throughout, which is well needed. The lighting ordinance, Mike has done a lot of work looking under a dark sky to become a dark sky community. And that has been somewhat requested a few times about lighting, and there's just a variety of how lighting can be handled, and also the noise ordinances. And as he said, we want to look at those as we continue to look at the short-term rental to add all that in together. And I also talked with the individuals from MJ who are consultants for the LWRP about the lighting ordinance and putting that incorporating it into the LWRP. Because there are a few spots, not just in the village, but it's been brought to my attention, there's a spot out in the town that, you know, it's so bright you need sunglasses in the evening. It's just outrageous. So we want to start looking at those things as not with just further development, but with the development that we've had. And we've had a number of comments from when it was the corner store, when it became Sliders, when it became Stewart's. That lighting in that area for the neighborhood has been a little much also. So I think these are all great projects to be looking at and bringing our codes definitely more into the 2026 than in the 1940s. So that's a lot of what Mike has been doing this month, besides getting himself organized. It's worked out well. Any questions? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Downcast lighting is what the planning board has been recommending.
That's part of the dark
Yes,
sky stuff,
yes,
so everything from color temperature to lumens to nits to, what's the word I'm looking for? The fixtures themselves, where they're casting the light, there's a whole bunch of great stuff. It's really interesting. I didn't know it existed until I started looking into some of it, so I think it'd be a good fit for Clayton, but at the very least, it's a good starting point, so.
Especially with LEDs, getting the color or whatever frequency right.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then also, of course, adding curfews and stuff, so we don't have needless light on in the village is a big one too, so. Any questions?
Thank you, Mike. All righty. Any questions on the consent agenda? Do we have a motion for items 1, 2, and 3?
I can make a motion.
In a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Also, capital projects, number 4, could I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make the motion.
In a second.
I can second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We need a motion to acknowledge the financials for the month of July.
I'll make the motion.
In a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we need a motion to introduce the local law number 4 and to set the public hearing.
I'll make the motion to introduce local law 4. And our hearing date could be, we have some calendars.
Would we say it's going to be the 14th? September 14th.
September 14th.
I'd like you, before we second the motion, to look at the page. I don't know what page it is in our packet, but I had a question. I just want to make sure that it's written here correctly. Because it says James Street one-way west between James Street and Webb Street. Then it says James Street east, two-way traffic east at Webb Street.
So beyond Webb, it would still be 2
Oh, thank you.
on the other side.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much for the clarification. And then John Street will be one-way south between Riverside and Huguenin. And then Huguenin is one-way east from James Street to Webb Street. Accurate?
I guess it's already one way from James to
Yes.
whatever, but
Yes.
John, but we're
Yes.
overlapping that, so.
Correct. Okay. Very good. So we had a motion from Rob. Could we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. So we'll have our public hearing on the 14th of September at 5 o'clock. Yes. I know as a group, we've talked about a rough date of sometime in October. I don't,
Okay, so
yes.
are we required to say when at some point?
I don't know for that for sure. If you want an exact date, we could find that
I
out.
mean, to tell the public
Right.
when we're gonna start, because we need some time to work into this for signage and that sort of
Yes.
stuff, right?
And yes, you are correct. Have you taken any time to speak with Terry about the signs?
Yes, I
Ron?
went up there and talked to him, and we went over the signs, and I provided him with the MUTCD, which is the state manual for sizing, and it also gives you every single sign that we're interested in, so that he can actually order from those numbers.
Okay.
And he said that he was going to go ahead. He was also curious as to when we needed to get this done. And I said, that you talked to me about September, and I said anytime after that, well, this meeting, then I think he's okay to order.
Yes, I would say so. But we'll wait until the public hearing.
What if you started it when we start the no parking on streets?
And that's November.
Right. What if it started at the same time as that?
I have
And then that gives Terry,
ample
it
time.
gives, ample time to get them installed, to get them ordered and delivered.
The delivery won't take long, but the installation, and he is gonna have to start installing somewhat soon because of the installation. And then they're gonna get into leaves, and then
Right, yeah.
in
Moisture is-
November.
That's why I'm kinda
So
asking,
that's probably a good
because
idea to get it over before that.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yes, yes.
my concern is that one-way signs will go up before we enact it,
Correct.
before the road is one-way. So we need to,
Well, we had talked about that, and Ron's idea was to put
Yeah.
for lack of, covering over it, and then when the day comes, boom, boom, boom.
that'd be perfect.
The state doesn't. I talked to Terry about that, and
Yes.
he was okay with that. And so one, we're gonna have to put them all up, have it set for that day, have them all covered.
Yes,
And then that night, or that morning, they go down there, pull them up, and then bag the old ones before he can take them down.
yes.
And then I think everything should go smooth.
Is there gonna be like a barricade in the street, like, just to
But don't go here.
kind of like don't come in here, at least covering up half the street, you think, or is that a good idea? Cause I know just by habit, people are gonna
Oh,
take
by
up
habit, yeah.
maybe a
absolutely.
week or so.
And I'm wondering, and I have not spoken to Terry about it, I was thinking of some of the areas, like a one-way on both sides, big ones. And then, once it flows well, maybe we take them down and just leave it.
We have to adjust parking on one of the streets too.
Yes,
Yeah, we discussed that too.
Jane.
Yeah, right.
What we were
He's
talking
gonna go
about.
the-
I mean, I said,
On
what
one
we were
side.
talking about to
Yes.
Terry, about one, because he said, we're gonna have two-way parking. I said, no, it's just gonna be one on each one of the streets, and preferably the right side, but that's not, written in stone.
Sure.
He seemed to think that was the way to
Yeah.
do it too.
And that would just be moving those signs.
To the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
He said there was a parking meter that may have to be adjusted on, by Ryman's, just because of the direction that they're in, because now it'll be in the back of the car.
But they'll be out by then, right? But by
Yes,
spring,
the-
we'll have to adjust it.
The meters come down shortly after Labor Day. That's what we usually do.
I think it should go smooth. And Terry be the one that, or maybe Kevin, if, what you were talking about, if maybe they think that's needed for the first few days. I mean, I don't see a terrible thing, but I don't know if we have anything like that that we might have to buy.
Or just like one of those like little triangle things that has the wood across, it says like do not enter. I mean, I think we did talk about October 1st to try to catch pumpkin chunkin', but if that's too tight, then whatever we said about the no overnight parking. When's that,
It's
in
just
November?
November 1st.
Oh,
So continue to think about it, and we can make that final decision.
Yeah, he would really appreciate if we could figure the exact date
Sure.
out though for him, because.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as we can do that, it would help him in his schedule.
should we vote now? Is there
Do you
any
want to
reason- Yeah.
decide now? I have no
Yeah,
problem with that.
I think
So
it
when
would
would
be
you like?
helpful for him.
Sure.
know.
think if he has a month and a week to order and implement, then October 1st sounds like it could be doable. Or he's getting into like lots of leaves and Christmas, but I don't know, I'm new here, so you tell me if you think that's doable.
Well, we have couple more meetings between now and then, so I mean, if we ask Terry first before we say for October 1st, what do you think of October 1st? And if he's agreement, we'll forgot it afterwards.
Sounds
That's
great.
fine with me.
October 1st it is, until Terry.
Just ask Terry.
Yeah.
Can you live with October 1st? Yeah, so,
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
hate to do his planning for him.
I mean, he's an integral part of this.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
we really want to make sure that he's on board with
Oh,
everything.
sure, if we can't get the signs up, it doesn't do us any
Yeah.
good. And Meredith, you weren't living in the community at the time, I don't think, but up here at Webb Street, where there's the light at Webb and Route 12,
Mm-hmm.
there was not a light.
Oh, no.
And that went in, what, 2005? I remember I was working up there, my office was up there, and you'd see daily. Might have been flashing, but you'd see daily, zoom, zoom, zoom.
Oh,
Like, oh my heavens, because people went through the red light.
that's scary.
So yes, we're gonna see the same thing
Yes,
here.
we'll do.
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's gonna be some mistakes.
Yeah, there'll be
Yeah.
mistakes.
Hopefully that, nothing big.
Yes, yes.
I don't expect that.
Let's see, we need a motion to approve to move Christine Thurston and PJ Schalier from an alternate to a full-time member on the ZBA board. They currently are alternates.
I'll make that motion.
In a second,
I can second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? They do need some, now they don't have any alternates. So if you've got your ears and eyes open, someone's interested, they can contact Nick Reddick, who's the chairman of the ZBA.
Is it that Chip,
He resigned.
pardon?
Chip resigned.
Okay. I thought I heard that, but I wasn't sure. I think Chip's been on there quite a long time.
Yeah, he's been out for 11 years.
Yeah, so he's probably,
Well, I also heard he's moved to Cape Vincent.
really? I didn't hear that.
Is-
So we do have 5 of them.
Yes, we do.
Perfect.
They can continue on
Yes.
what they need to do. So now there's the approval for the resolution 2026-11, which is authorizing an intermunicipal agreement between the village and Jefferson County. I sent on that one information from Hartley at the county level. Do any of you have questions about this?
No, I think that county.
I think it's a good idea. It's eliminating quite a bit of additional work that has been needed.
Right, because they've been required to send a letter, and then
Yes.
the letter sent back, and I'm sure the county's got lots of stuff to do.
Yes, yes, yes. So could I have a motion for that resolution, please?
I'll make the motion.
In a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone disapprove? Motion carried. Super, thank you. Next Monday, August 31st, the cruise ship comes in the afternoon, and we'll be here through Tuesday, leaving Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Over the weekend, starting, I believe it is Thursday, we have, there's a bass tournament, and that will take place predominantly at the hotel. That's where the weigh-ins and the trophies and all of that will take place at the hotel. And,
That's new, right? Have they ever done that before?
At the
yes, they
hotel.
have, yes,
At the hotel?
yes.
Oh.
And so when they did it years ago at the hotel, it was in that empty parking lot area they set up. It's nothing like when they do the poker run. And I don't know if they're docking there or not. I spoke with Hines over at French Creek Marina, and he said that a lot of them, probably the majority of them, will be putting their boats in there, and they can leave their trailers right at French Creek. It just seemed to make a lot of sense for that to happen at French Creek. If you want to use Mary Street, fine, but they can't leave their, you know, their trailers and their boats and trucks and whatnot, so I think that's good to have it over there. There's plenty of room, and he's done it numerous times. Roughly 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting, what is it, an acronym, DWSP, Drinking Water Source Protection. This was put on by the part of the Health Department of New York State. We had about 10, 12 people show up for the meeting. It was a very good, very productive meeting. And we're just looking at areas for the water source that can be protected. It will not cost the village any money. We won't have to do any infrastructure. We could if we wanted to, but there's nothing mandatory. But we'll have meetings about once a month, and through the meetings, then a plan will be developed, and we'll have this plan for the future. We had good input both from the public, along with Tilt Kane and Save the River. And I think those are two important individuals to partner with for this particular. After the meeting, we took everyone up, anyone that wanted to go, they went up to the water plant and saw how that all was, and then they toured over at Zenda Farms. So it was a nice day for them.
So it should be good for us if they designate any issues.
Yes,
That we could get money. And
Yes.
That's a great thing.
yes,
Because whenever you get money, you need that report,
that's correct.
and that costs money, and so
Yes,
they're giving it to us for free.
100%. Along with, it will also give us some points for Climate Smart, because we're trying to get to the silver level, and it will give us some points for that when it's completed. So no, I think it's a good thing, and I feel, he said there's no one else in Jefferson County or along the shorelines doing this currently, so
So Cape and the Bay haven't,
nobody's expressed any interest.
I thought it was a great thing.
I thought it was very good also, yes. On Friday, the governor made the announcement of the New York State grant for the $1 million that I believe 3 communities received. We were one of the communities that received that infrastructure grant, and that is for the Essential Housing Program. So that's going, the NRBC is moving along. I was not aware of how many, you gotta do this before you do that, but you gotta do that before you do this. I was not aware there's so many steps that have to be taken to enact this, but we're moving along. Christy's been great with all of that for the village. I help, but she's the brains behind it all. So it's been very good. Trustee Bonesteel.
We submitted for the, inventory for the plantings, the trees inventory. We submitted for that grant. That was due on August 12th, so we'll find out about that and get, hopefully, I think it's up to like $40,000 to $50,000 for inventory, then we can go into any next stages for that. So that's nice.
So they would do, the grant would allow us to hire someone to do an inventory of the trees on municipal property. And that's part of Climate Smart. We've had some other people that have wanted to do it, and Trustee Bonesteel brought information quickly to light, and we got that grant submitted.
Very good.
We should hear.
Awesome.
We should hear soon.
And then I'm looking into and gathering more information around what Potsdam did for their native plant policy, which they enacted this year, which could be really interesting for Clayton. Their policy is 75 to 85% native plantings for municipals moving forward for new plants or replacements, which again would just boost the ecology and, helping the environment. So looking for more information on that to submit to the rest of the board.
Thank you for doing that. Trustee McDowell.
The next chamber meeting they start up again in September is on the 10th of September. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there, but I will catch up with Christy, hopefully with Tricia probably before our next board meeting. That's what I have.
Trustee Ritter?
Han Memorial Library canceled their meeting, they didn't have enough members at quorum. So we'll catch up with them in September. And I did talk with Scott Johnson
Yes.
about the Lions Field building and their bathrooms, and he said the bathrooms are open when they have a sports event going on and coaches have keys in the access, but he doesn't intend to ever open it up to allow public usage, period. And the reasons are cleaning it, servicing it, vandalism to it, and we talked about maybe adding lock that can be remotely accessed. He brought up the problem that there's not any Wi-Fi out there that it would need to run off of if we did move in that direction. But he said he tried it, and there were a few people that were on the committee to clean it, and Terry and his crew also cleaned it, and no one right now is interested in returning it back to that. So that's why it's not available.
Well, we've checked it out, we've gotten the answers, and we have to respect his way of thinking, and I fully follow it.
I do too.
I fully follow.
There are some things to finish up on the building. There's like a locked access that needs some protection, fall protection. But when you open the doors, there needs to be some kind of railing there. There's a transition coming and going from the building that still needs a little bit of work. He said, so this fall, they're gonna work on that. And he said also move everything down from wherever he has it stored back to that building.
It's not really being utilized completely right
He
now.
said that there's going to be a meeting where everybody gets together there, loads up the trucks, and move it down.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Duper?
No, there hasn't been really much activity in zoning and planning lately, so
So last planning board at the beginning of the month was, well, there wasn't one.
right. They had a ZBA for the town,
Yes.
one, but nothing for the village.
Alrighty. Okay. Our next meeting is September 14th. Is there, I believe it's the 14th.
Yes.
Yes. Do we want to have a workshop that day, or just start discussing codes, or or short-term rental? How do you all want to start handling that?
Well, I sent over the draft, Mike
Yes.
sent over his edits, right? So I think the
Yes.
next step is for,
Send it out to the board?
well, I guess we could send it out, did he send it out to the board, or did he send it just back to you?
I think you just sent it to you and I.
Okay,
Yes.
so we'll send it to everybody else, but
He
I
did
mean,
that
oh,
Did
did
he?
he send it to you?
at 4:49.
Okay.
Today.
Wait, is that,
That's what I was looking at when he said, I sent you all these emails. It was at 4:49 today.
all right, no, I understand that, but, yes, but that's only for the dark sky, noise, and code enforcement. It's not the short-term rental.
We
I
talked
don't
about
believe.
He CC'd everybody on the email from August
what day are we
13th.
talking about? The next meeting?
He sent it to everybody. So, I mean, I think it would be helpful to have a workshop on the 14th before the public hearing and the meeting. But if you all want to look through and come with your edits, or write back with your email with your edits, we can make those changes.
Well, why don't we plan to have a workshop on the 14th, and then as the week, because we're in that 3-week period before we have our next meeting. If that, we find that we don't need it or it doesn't work, we can just cancel the workshop. Is that okay? Sure. Could we have a motion to close the meeting?
To make a motion to close the meeting.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.